This video is about a foreigner's obligation to support the family of the Filipina. I know I have addressed this question before, but that was like I have 10,000 subscribers. But again, I have been asked the same question. Is it the foreigner's obligation to support the Filipino's spouse's family? I believe the answer to that question, it all depends on you. Usually here in the Philippines, as a Filipino, we oblige upon ourselves to support our parents as they grow older. When they're growing older, they have less likely to have an income, so it's now up to the children to support the parents. And 9 out of 10, the children are the one pooling among themselves the expenses incurred when the parents are hospitalized or the parents has any needs of the parents as they grow older. The children, 9 out of 10, usually pull around their resources to support their parents. But in regards to the foreigner that's asking, he said that it seems like the siblings don't want to share. Although the Filipina spouse have several siblings, it seems like it's vested upon them to just pay for everything. I mean, perhaps it is expected here in the Philippines when you're the foreigner, you're coming from a rich country, so you must be affording to spend for it all. But if you cannot pay for it all, then you might as well tell the siblings that why can't we do what like a Filipino family should do? You pay your share, and how many siblings you have, I mean your wife or spouse, Filipino spouse have, and you share among yourself the obligation, the financial obligation or the financial support that you're gonna be giving to the parents. And you can see that the parents don't have anything much longer to live. That's why most of the foreigners that's here, I believe that they are supporting the parents. But I think when it comes to the siblings, it's a different story. Since the question was, is it the foreigner's obligation to support the Filipino spouse family? Because as you have said yourself, there's a lot of siblings, by why it seems like they don't want to know and then expecting the foreigner to pay for it all. I think if you don't want to have all the burden upon you, you make it clear to the siblings yourself that this is what you are willing to pay when it comes to the parents, but you don't want to pay for the siblings as well. Because I myself personally will not be inclined to tell you that it is your obligation to support the siblings. As a Filipino, like I said, we are expected to support the parents. And if you have more extras than you think you can give, you got more to give, then it's up to you if you want to support the siblings as well, the nephews and nieces. But for me, you will be creating a dependent there that don't want to be striving themselves hard, because if the children, nephew and nieces are now relying on someone, they will not be able to see that they need to work hard to achieve what they want in their life, because someone's just depending on them, or they just rely on handouts. Now they don't want to work. You're creating a generation of lazy people. Now with regards to the parents, back to the question, the parents is a different case, since like I said, as Filipinos, we are obliged to support our parents when they are older. And as a foreigner, I believe that you can also share the same thing. If you don't want to pay for everything that the parents need, you gotta have to tell the siblings this is what you're willing to pay to support the parents, and they can themselves do their own part, do their own share, not be vested upon all of the parents' financial needs on the foreigner. Like you said, you have more siblings there, so I suppose you have to share. If someone have no job, then he can share the deeds. I mean, like work, serve the parents through different ways, not just financially. Like if they're in the hospital, they'll be the one watching the parents inside the hospital or doing the running around. But with regards to that question, the foreigner is not obliged. It's his choice. But not to the family, but with the parents, you can also just pay as like your wife's obligation to her parents. Like, it's not everything you have to pay for. If you don't want that, you can tell them, the siblings, that I only pay what's entitled by my spouse or your sister or brother here towards the parents' financial support. Now, it's different if you are really generous and you got more to give, then you can pay for it all because it's just your choice. But as a question, if it's an obligation, it's more of a cultural thing, cultural obligation, because as Filipinos, that is the reason why some families have a lot of children, because they expect that when the parents get older, they will be sharing themselves the obligation to care for the older parents. So that's where it comes from, our tradition of close family bond that give us this feeling that we are obligated to pay for the parents, but not for the siblings, because siblings is a different story. It's not anymore. So your obligation only ends on the parents, not on the family. The family is an optional choice. If you want to breed lazy people or people that's relying on handouts, then do so, because you don't want them to work hard anymore because you can just pay for them, then do so. But I believe that is not the case, because every person needs to learn how to the benefit of his own effort, that how to see that in his own life. Otherwise, you've seen the difference that people are just relying on handouts. They don't even work anymore. They just wait for any donations or any gifts, and there's no improvement among themselves, no skills learned. And in fact, that's why I've been trying to tell my that you cannot rely on this donation. You yourself should strive hard to learn a skill for life, because donation only lasts as long as there are donors that will be so blind to see that they have created a leech. Now you yourself should have the honor to learn the skill to pay for your bills when you're older, so your children as well will be proud of you when they see you working hard, not just relying on someone. So that is my stake, that is my stand on that one. It's the foreigner can only pay the obligation around the parents' lifetime, but with regards to the other family, the siblings, it's now an option, but you're not obligated. It's upon your wife if she wants to pay for the siblings. Children, so they won't have to work hard anymore. They only have to concentrate on studying without the this need to succeed, because anyway the money is ready to pay for their mistake. I mean, it's just wrong for me. Like, I have to strive so hard to get on the grades that I will be paid by the scholarship I'm into, and when I was on college, I have to pay it for myself by working in the morning and studying at night, or studying in the weekend. So you have this standard that you have to reach, because otherwise you are wasting your own money paying for the tuition fees, paying for your books, paying for your time. So nobody is paying that before for me on my case. But I like that better, because I don't owe anyone any favor, and you strive more when it's on your own money. Although there are nieces and nephews, I would not say that are grateful for the opportunity, but a lot has been heard that the nephews and nieces have become just ordinary lazies. In fact, some of them don't even finish the college courses because someone else is paying for it. They become pregnant before they even graduated, before they even finish school. So, I mean, don't take away the experience of being resilient. Don't take away that striving hard to succeed, because it's different when you're the one providing for yourself or someone else is paying. There's no striving hard to succeed. You're being paid. There's nothing for you to keep up the grade to stay there, because someone else is paying the tuition fee. But it's different when you're the one who's paying for everything, and you're the one who's in control of your grade, and that's the start that you are in control of your life. So no, it's not an obligation for the foreigner to support the siblings, but for the parents, you can pay for the share of your spouse if there's a lot of siblings on the financial support to the parents.